Was in the grandstand, and we are here to talk about the US Grand Prix. I am joined today by Jen, Rachel, and Rebecca.
Hello.
No
Hi.
Kay today. She's got to work,
Honestly.
unfortunately. So I think we should just get straight into it, girls. What did we think?
It was quite a roller coaster race because it was quite fun in some bits, but in others I felt like it was quite dull.
Yeah.
The start was like, I think the most like exciting bit of it. And then it just kind of like, it was just there. Nothing really much else happened.
Yeah. It kind of got busy, like obviously with the last like 10 laps with the Max and Lando fight. That's like when it kind of picked up again, but it's kind of just kind of flat then the rest of the time.
Yeah, I agree.
I do
The
love how,
last uh the
sorry, go
last
on.
10 laps were exciting,
Yeah, they were. Definitely.
if not a bit frustrating.
So glad I didn't have anything to do with the upfront bit. I was at the back of the grid and I was in the point. So I was doing all right for once.
Yeah.
For once, no controversy with Gasly in a race.
Honestly. I didn't stay up for the qualifying either because I was so
Oh, no, did I?
tired. I was just like, I tried my best and I was just like, I can't do it. So I went to bed and then I woke up to like 20 messages off Esther, my New Zealand friend, because obviously she's awake for it because it was normal time for her. And she was like, oh, Gaz is like P5 or P4, whatever it was. And I was like, what? I was like, what? Definitely got the McLaren this weekend, as everyone kept joking about.
Yeah, that livery for Alpine was an interesting one. It was nice,
It
but then you just like they all seem to just like orange this season.
It was annoying me, the Alpine livery, I'm not gonna lie, because I kept thinking, oh my God, is that one of the McLarens? What are they doing there? And I was going, oh my God, it's an Alpine. What the hell?
Getting confused with the teams. You're like,
I was
what?
getting really confused.
What was that livery about?
Indiana Jones, like the new
It's
film, I
because they were,
think.
I think there's a new, yeah, yeah, so
Another
they're
film.
working
Do
with
they
them.
need another film?
Apparently
I,
not.
I don't think the Phoebe Waller-Bridge one went over too well from what I've
No.
seen. So I'm like shocked there's another one.
Okay.
Oh dear.
Yes. Well, the Ferrari was very quick this weekend, wasn't it?
Yes, he was.
I love the
Very
fact that
comf
he just appeared. He did a George. He just appeared and just took it and went. I was like, he replaced George that over the weekend. But yeah, great for Ferrari. It keeps the constructors a three-way
Mm.
battle. I still think
Yeah.
McLaren have got their name on that one,
Hmm.
but it just
Yeah.
leaves it a bit spicy for the end of the season. Like just keep it going. We're enjoying it.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
and can we also talk about something which is very good news for Jen? Liam got points.
And I tell you, he proved himself. He proved himself. Because I was like, I was expecting that, all right, we're starting at the back of the grid. We took a pretty much a brand new car. He'll make up a few places. I don't expect much from him. He's never drove this track before. He doesn't know the car. He's been out of a car for a year. And then for him to finish P9 and be in the points in his first race, I generally have no words for him. That's the Liam Lawson I know. And if he can keep doing that for the next like 5 races, that seat is his guaranteed. Like I already think he's done enough getting up to P9, but if he keeps that up, it's I don't even know what to say. It was just incredible to watch him be like that. And the way like he sends it when he's overtaking people he gives like no shits. He's just like, I'm going for it. And I like a driver like that who just goes for it no matter what. And I think it's nice to see him in there, and it's nice for him to finally be getting this opportunity. But then I'm also like, it just wasn't the same without Danny there. It just felt like something was missing at Austin, and it just didn't feel right that he wasn't there.
Yeah.
I don't think Liam will be on Fernando Alonso's Christmas card list.
It's all right. He obviously took him in the race and proved him wrong. So
I would love to see if they
I just
bring
when I
back.
saw the picture of that, I was just like, oh my God, why is he picking on like a 22-year-old? Come on, man.
Don't know.
Actually.
I
Just He was not happy with him for some reason on Saturday.
I would love for them to do the Secret Santa again and then rig it so that Liam and Fernando get each other and just see what happens.
That would be funny.
That would be. I feel as though one of the descriptions that someone said about it was Liam and Franco, you can tell they've learned in recent F2 because they get their elbows out and they do what they have to do and they do what they want to. They don't care if it's like whatever overtake it is, or I mean the defensive masterclass from Franco when he kept Perez behind him for as long as he did, and for him to be able to get the points and as well as Liam getting points, it's like you can tell these lads have gone through F2 because they know how to fight and they know how to do these overtakes, because you like the chaos that they went through in F2 to just be able to make up a place. It's like you can see that coming through in the development of F1. But it was a great weekend for the two youngsters. A weekend to forget for Albon. I mean, qualifying wasn't the best, but then him avoiding every single penalty that was possible. Still don't know. It was like he'd always come up with Albon and I think like Gasly, Yuki, Albon, and whoever under investigation, and you just say like, "What's he done now?" And it went the other way. I'm like, "Oh,
yeah,
okay."
I don't even want to get myself started on penalties this weekend. I don't think it's a good idea for me to get started. All I'm going to say is the inconsistency is really, really, really starting to wind me up.
I don't think
And
anyone
leave it
would
there.
like be as mad as they are with the penalties if they just did it properly. Like they seem to give it to some people and they don't seem to give it to others, but they're doing the exact same thing. Like just do it right and nobody will complain at you, but they're just not doing it right. So fans are gonna get mad. And I don't blame them one bit.
You can't give a penalty in the sprint race to one driver on one side of things and then give a penalty to another driver in the race that was on the other side of things. Do you know what I mean? It's you either get the same penalty or don't give out the penalty at all.
Yeah.
I think George's reaction to his was everyone's reaction to every penalty near enough that was given. He's just, what?
What was that?
I'll tell you what they need to do on that corner is put some gravel or something there to stop it happening in that corner.
Speaking of gravel, can we talk about what happened in the first 5 laps?
Oh, yeah.
That broke my heart because Lewis was potentially going to break a record of having, I think it's 7 wins at Kota. No driver has had more than 6. And then you just see him beached. My heart broke.
He had such a good start as well from where he was on the grid because he had a terrible, terrible qualifying.
Yeah.
But he'd already made up so many places, and then that was a shame. You don't very often see Lewis Hamilton beached in the gravel, do you?
No. Honestly, he has been. Sorry.
No, go on, Rachel.
Sorry, my computer keeps cutting out, so I keep cutting over people. I was going to say is like, I think he cannot wait for this Ferrari seat because he has just been complaining about this Merc for the past 2 years, and my heart breaks.
Yeah, it is a shame. I was speaking to my brother earlier on, actually. He's a Lewis fan. And I said to him, you're basically a Ferrari boy now, aren't you? And he was like, yeah, I've given up on Mercedes this year.
I think at this point you're just kind of done, aren't you? Like Lewis is just like, yeah, it is what it is. If we're out, we're out. Like he's probably thinking to like next year now. There's no point worrying about it when you've got 5 races left. Like it wasn't a great weekend overall for him, so I think he just wanted the weekend over. And
yeah,
it came to it.
And if we didn't know already, it officially rules him out of the title race.
Paul Lewis.
As if we didn't know already.
Yeah.
Is it like Charles has got like, I think he was needs to outscore him. It's either like 27 points or he's like 2.7% chance of winning. So everyone's got like the conspiracy theory of he's now 27, so there is a chance. But I think it's both Max and Lando have to DNF every race and Charles has to win.
I don't think
You know
that's
what?
happening, but you
No.
know.
Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have
true.
happened in this sport.
I do think that Max is still winning the drivers' championship. I don't think as much as you know that I would love Lando to win, but I think it's still Max's. I don't think there's gonna be enough from Lando and McLaren to quite get that. I think they have a good chance of keeping the constructors because Oscar and Lando are both very consistent and they are both always up, apart from the race this weekend, they had a 14 race streak of at least one of them being on the podium. So I think and then you've got Perez with Verstappen and he's not doing what he should be doing, is he? Helpful to help them. So I think Red Bull need to be really watching out for Ferrari for the constructors for second place. I do.
I completely agree. I think this season we are obviously going to see a Max World Championship, but I do think this was a great season for giving us different variety. But I think next season Red Bull will really need to watch their backs because McLaren, if they've got a car like this year, they're still learning everything about this car. They'll just tweak and fix little things and they'll know how to make that better for next year. And I'm really, really excited to see how that happens.
Yeah.
There was one bit that stood out for me, and it was when they were saying about Perez, he's fighting battles that aren't his. So it's like you don't really expect him to be placed behind the Williams of Franco for as long as he is. And it's like that is a move that you'd expect him to be able to pull off within a few laps, and it took him a lot longer. And incredible race from Franco with the defensive battle. But it's Sergio shouldn't be there. He should be further up to try and help Max with what's happening. So it's the battles that he's fighting aren't where he should be.
No, and that's the problem that Red Bull have. He's not getting the consistent points that both Lando and Oscar are getting every weekend. So
also, if I'm correct, wasn't this the same thing that happened at Singapore? Perez was held up by Franco once again.
Yes.
Franco's just holding everyone up at this point.
Yeah.
I was just watching it going, that seems very familiar.
It's one of my favourite radios is when Perez says he's very hard to pass his Franco. And it was when he was doing that, he's defending, I was like, I expect to hear that again. But no, I think Franco's proving his worth in that Williams seat. We've all seen what Williams have had to offer this season, and the car hasn't been, whether it's the car or whether it was Logan, wasn't performing at the level it should have been. But Franco's been able to turn it around, and the fact that he's outscoring Alex, who is an incredible driver, and he has been on form for Williams weekly. So it's now for Franco to be up there pushing for points, and you're looking at Alex, who was further down. He did have the damage at the beginning, which did affect his race, but it's one of them. To see Franco outperforming Alex, it is an interesting one to see, and it's got me thinking, do we think Williams are a bit did we make the right decision for next year because they didn't really know the impact that Franco would have had this season?
Yeah, I think it definitely does put them in a bit of a predicament. I'm kind of hoping, even though the car this year is pretty terrible, that Sauber give Franco a chance.
Yeah, they're the only
for next
ones
year, because I really, I
Yeah.
really do think that Franco deserves to be an F1 already from what I've seen of him in the Williams.
Yeah, I think he's proved himself enough to get a seat, but it's it's so hard to get a seat in Formula One. It's so difficult. But like you said, Sauber are the only ones that are left now.
Yeah.
Will they take him? I don't know, because there's so many opportunities. You've still got Bass, who could be out of a seat and be gone from F1. You've got a few F2 juniors that are linked to it. Then
yeah, it's a tricky one.
There's so many choices, but who do they go for? if they go for a rookie, they can go for a rookie because they've got Nico Hulkenberg there. Like they've got a
Yeah.
veteran there. So if they do go for a rookie, it's not going to be an issue. It's like Alpine next year. That's Pierre Gasly and Jack Doohan. That's a veteran and that's a rookie. So it's like as long as you've got someone that knows what they're doing, I don't see why they could not go for Franco. And it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. It'd just be a different car and a different team.
I was
mean-
convinced for the longest time that Sauber seat was going to go to Theo, but obviously Theo is now doing IndyCar, so I know that one's out the window. So we'll possibly, yeah, because he's renewed his contract, hasn't he? I'm sure he's renewed his IndyCar contract like in the last couple of weeks.
I'm not sure.
I'm sure that was like new because I follow IndyCar on Instagram, but there's so much happening because their season's like wrapping up that I'm just like, it's just so much.
I do know Sauber have started with like their own drivers academy now, so I think it's Zane Maloney that's a part of that. So it'll be interesting to see if they stick with their drivers academy or whether they do go for someone like Franco where they know what he can do. But I think Franco has openly said he preferred to stay at Williams. So there could also be the option of if he was to become reserve driver or the possibility of season in F2. And then the 26, it could all change at Williams, whether
Yeah.
Carlos then goes to Audi and then that seat becomes free. So will be interesting because I do feel as though Franco is a massive part of Williams, like the academy and now being part of F1. And it's
Yeah.
also like the sponsorships they could lose if they are to see him go, which could be like a deal breaker for Williams because we know they're not like one of the wealthiest teams.
Yeah, I hope in the future we see him permanently in F1. I do think that he's a talent that deserves to be there. There's some that I don't think that should still be carrying on, but you know,
We don't speak about them much.
I
they
wonder.
make those decisions. I mean, if I made the decisions, then there would be a lot of changes.
There's one specific change that I have seen a lot of people talking about. Because I don't know if you watch it. It's what's his name? David Coulthard and Ed. Oh my God, I forgot his name. Eddie Jordan, right? They have a podcast, and I'm obsessed with this. They were talking about driver changes if they could make them. And there's a very, very fundamental one that I agree with, and I'm okay to say this, by the way. People are talking about potentially Lance getting changed with Felipe because Felipe is one of the best reserve drivers on the grid, and he hasn't had a chance yet, and that is something I really, really hope happens. I hope I'm allowed to like say that.
I think the problem is Lance is going to have that seat unless his dad sells up. Like Lance is
Yeah.
never going to lose that seat until his dad's gone, basically. But
Or he
That's
decides that
like,
he doesn't
yeah,
want to do it
don't
anymore.
want to do it
but-
anymore. Yeah, it's one of them, innit? It's like all this talk about, oh, why is Yuki not being talked about in the Red Bull seat? And it's like, because he's probably going to Aston Martin, because
Yeah.
Honda are going to Aston Martin. He's part of the Honda Dream Academy. That's probably where he's going to end up, whether it's whoever's seat he takes. But then I'm also like, does he want the Red Bull seat or does he want to go to Aston Martin? It's one of them. But I would not want Liam in that Red Bull seat. I'm sick and tired of the talk of, oh, give Liam a chance in the Red Bull seat. No, thank you. I've done that once with Pierre Gasly. I am not doing it again. I just can't see Liam struggle next to Max. I just can't do it.
We
No,
just
I
stood in front of Red Bull, like saying, "You will not enter this door."
No, I will go down to Milton Keynes. I will stand outside there and say, he's not allowed in. He's not getting that seat. He's only 22. Leave him alone.
I don't
Give him a chance in the smaller team first, and then we'll see in a few years' time.
Jen's seen this story far too many times playing it.
I've done it enough times. I don't need to do it again.
It has happened a few times already, let's face it, with Red Bull. I don't think I'd be happy if my driver was going to that team, to be honest.
I have the fear because people are speculating that Oscar will take the seat, and I'm terrified of that idea. But I'm like, would Mark let that happen? That's the question.
That's a tricky one to answer
Yeah.
because he wants he obviously wants Oscar, and I guess Oscar wants to be the best and in the best. And, you know, for a long time that has been Red Bull. Maybe others are catching up a bit now. So,
Mm,
you know, McLaren's looking one of the best now. So I think
yeah.
I think he's okay where he is.
Stay at McLaren forever.
We'll keep Oscar and Lando. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no more changes there.
I feel as though one podcast week we're gonna have to make like our dream grids.
Yeah.
Just
Hopefully
we all just have to do it. Like we'll have some very random teams, but I
Yeah.
feel like that will be
Oh yeah, no,
incredible one.
Yeah.
there'll be loads of drivers that we've never even talked about before from everywhere.
Welcome to F1, Arthur Leclerc.
Imagine.
Oh my god. Rebecca, imagine Arthur and Clem in one team together.
That'd be interesting. It's like the other day I was speaking to someone about so Williams have just released like their newest podcast episode, and it's Franco and Alex, and that duo they're absolutely hilarious together. But it's like the madness of Franco and how crazy he can be at times. Could you imagine Franco and Oscar together? You've got the calmness of Oscar, and I think Franco would end up like driving him a bit insane. But then my other theory is what happens if Franco rubbed off on Oscar, and then we end up seeing Oscar for like a different Oscar.
Oscar.
I mean, we did get to see a very, very different side to Oscar in a lot of the Prema videos
Yes.
when he was with Logan and when he was with Arthur for it. So I would like to see him with Franco and see that kind of relationship, see how that would work.
I feel like we need to bring back the Prima videos.
Oh my god, can we? Please. I miss them so much. Was it Arthur had like 18 hours of screen time?
Yeah, because that's been brought back up because I think Alex said he had, I think it was like 12 hours like during the week, and Franco was shocked at 12. And then it's like everyone's like, yeah, introduce him to Arthur and the 18 hours and then he can talk.
I don't even want to see what mine is. Mine's not too bad for today. It's 6.5.
I saw a couple of videos from the podcast that Oscar did saying that Lando and Oscar have to say who it is coming into the pit because they sound similar over radio. And someone made 2 TikToks, one that was Lando and one that's Oscar, and it's just them over and over again saying Lando pit lane and Oscar pit lane.
Oh my god, that is funny.
Because they say it so many times in a row over and over, it just like all like gels together and you can't really understand that they're saying anything at all. But if you hear, they do sound so similar over the radio.
That's crazy.
It's funny. That made me laugh.
That's good.
It's been a good weekend for the random content that teams have produced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, also, can we note the most random paddock guest I've ever seen was Paul Mescal being in the Ferrari garage? That was like the most random thing when my sister sent me. I thought it was fake. I thought someone had like deep faked that at first. It's just such a random pull.
Also, Franco ignoring Martin Brundle, I think it was.
Oh my god, I was watching that and Liam
did.
was like sat next to me and he went, person Franco is. Like, I don't know whether he's not heard him or he's just blatantly ignoring it. But I don't know. I'm not going to say anything. I just, yeah.
They mentioned it after, didn't they? And Martin was just like, I'm going to go and introduce myself to Franco.
Yeah. It's like when he tries to speak to him, he's like, hi, it's my brother, like I'm trying to speak to you. And Franco's just like, nope, I'm off. But if he hasn't heard him or if he like doesn't like, he probably know who he is, but it's one of them where you're trying to get to where you need to be. He's still fairly new to just randomly walking and then getting a microphone like, hi, I'm here kind of thing. So It's like, yeah, it'd be quite funny to see if he does get him next time. But then there's also Franco after the race and he's being interviewed and there's like fireworks going off. and he just gets so distracted that he has to ask them afterwards, oh, what was the question? Because he's just there in his own little world, just looking at the fireworks like that. Like a child, like he's just fascinated by them, and then they have to repeat the question for him because he's just gone.
His comment about Alpine taking the fastest lap absolutely killed me off.
Like, we have to protect the planet, like, don't use up the tyres.
Why are you using all the tyres up? We're trying to save the planet. I was just like,
That's all we've got, guys.
oh, love him.
So-
I think
It's
he's
all right.
great.
That's this lap. It's all we've got. All right. It's all we've got going for us right now. Yeah, it's funny. I just don't think he thinks before he says something. He just comes out with it. And I just think that's just what
No.
you need on this grid.
It's
sometimes.
great. I think he's great. I do want to see him stick around. He makes me laugh.
I think even if Williams tried to media train him, I don't think they would be
No.
able to. Because it's like the amount I think he posted on his Instagram the other week, it was like a picture of Grove and he was like, oh yeah, here to get media trained. Then the one after it is like, haha, I can't believe you all believe me, that'll never happen.
Oh, it's funny. He is.
He's so peak Gen Z, and I love it.
Yeah, he is.
Good. Right, well then we're straight into another race weekend for Mexico this weekend.
Mexico. I do enjoy Mexico. I think like the atmosphere is always like ace, and I just hope
Yeah.
Checo's dad's there because that'll make my weekend.
I mean, will we get to see much of him though with Checo's performance at the moment?
Probably not. I'm just here for the vibes.
Yeah, Mexico does seem like a very good vibe.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for FP1 because we are going to get to see Felipe and Pato O'Ward doing
Oh.
FP1, and I'm very excited for that.
I love Pato.
Oh, I love him. He's so cute.
But yeah, we will be heading off to Mexico. See what that brings. See where everyone ends up. See who wins that, because I don't think we did very well in our predictions this week.
One person scored 1 point.
Who's that?
I haven't looked at it yet. Oh my god.
Kay won a point.
We are just awful.
And not all of the rest of us got absolutely zero.
I don't think anybody expected
No.
Charles to take the lead
No,
straight at the beginning.
as soon as he took the lead, I was just like, oh well, that's me not scoring any points this week.
Yeah, that's what I was like. That there goes my predictions. Goodbye.
I thought I'd gone safe with Max because most of you, I think it was just me and Rebecca that went Max for the win. And all of you were just like, yeah, we're sticking to Lando. And I was like, but it's a Lando pole.
It doesn't win from bowl.
I don't like a Lando pole. He's only done it once.
I don't. You know what? Once is enough. Once is enough. We never know what will happen in the future.
Yeah, true. But,
If-
you know, I thought I was
we-
playing it safe and turns out no.
If we included like first retirement like the F1 Play app does, I do apologise, but I did predict Lewis Hamilton to be the first one to retire out the race.
Oh, no.
Oh no, Paul Lewis, it's all your fault.
Rebecca, what did you do?
That was
Paul
the only
Lewis.
prediction I got right.
Rebecca manifested a bit too close to the sun.
Yeah.
bit too hard there.
I'll put Franco to win for Mexico and let's see what happens.
Oh my god, imagine.
Oh my god, that'd be hysterical.
That would
I'll
be
be
insane.
I'll be coming to you to predict everything for me if he
Yeah,
wins.
give us the
in
lottery numbers
Mexico,
and
I'll tell
everything.
you that now.
I think I would be able to hear Rebecca from Scotland if Franco was to win.
Yeah, I think the whole of the UK will hear Rebecca if Franco wins.
Like Argentina might.
Argentina will be able to
Yeah.
hear Rebecca. Yeah,
Sorry.
but no, looking forward to the weekend as it's this season's proven we don't know
Yeah,
who's going to win.
that is it.
We will see.
We'll be back to talk all things Mexico next week and see who wins, who's in the points, who's winning drivers and constructors, because they're both up for it. It's a wild fight, and we thought it would be a boring season this year, and it's
We
just
did.
like it's been the best one so far. But
Yeah.
we will be back next week, guys, so we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.